Gentlemen, lovers and swingers, it's the end of the week. This is the only thing between you and the pillow. It's time to hit a big note on the bed flute. It's time to fiddle, giggle, wriggle. It's time to club Buggery. Tonight, This Morning Live presents Club Buggery, live from the Rupert Murdoch disgrace, here at the ABC studios in Gore Hill. Club Buggery, featuring vocalist extraordinaire, the Nissan Cedrics.
In our lives, there are beautiful days. There's buggery fun and buggery win. The club has come and kept us alive. Thank you, club, for 1995.
Supported by Australia's Rolling Stones. On Skins, Mr. Charlie Watts. On bass, Mr. Bill Wyman. On guitar, Mr. Keith Richards. On trumpet, Mr. Brian Jones. On sax, happy birthday, Ronnie Wood. And on keyboards, Mr. Mick Jagger. And now, would you please give a big hands off, hawked out, hugged up, Club Buggery welcome to those two vultures of variety, the killers of cabaret, those lairds of Las Vegas, rampaging Roy Slavin, and H.G. Nelson!
Thanks, Terps. Thanks, Stones. Thanks, Cedrics. Hello, Australasian buggers, and welcome to Club Buggery for another Friday night when too much variety will be barely enough. And tonight is a special Friday the 13th edition of the show. Coming to you live from the Rupert Murdoch disgrace here at the ABC headquarters in Gore Hill. And now I'd like to introduce to you a man who this week realised a lifelong ambition. He's released his own range of underpants. These are marketed under the title of the Date Puncher range. A very, very exciting concept in underwear. They come in 3 sizes. There's the Roy Boy, the Long Jimmy, and the far too bloody big. Tonight, if you look at the gusset area of my anatomy, you will see that I'm sporting an attractive pair of Long Jimmies, and they give a very, very comfortable ride. With that as a way of introduction, rampaging Roy Slavin, who or what has been dancing lady style on the tiny stage before the dimming footlights of your mind this week, pal!
Yes, thank you very, very much, H.G. Nelson. What's on my mind? Shane Warne is on my mind. This week I've discovered, H.G., that he's discovered a new mystery ball. A new Friday the 13th mystery ball. I don't know too much about the details, except I can say this. In my long conversation with Shane early this morning, he described it to me as thus, that over the first 18 metres of the pitch in its arc, that if you were to draw or circumscribe an area 1 metre from the centre of the orb as it goes down the pitch, time slows down. Time slows down with the mystery ball. Apparently he feels it's tied to the Southern Oscillation Index and adiabatic lapse rates. But you can see the ball I'd call it a slow ball.
Yes?
I'd call it a slow ball. Shane Warne has invented a slow ball.
Oh, good.
And you can see the bloke, he's been sitting around with the hands, go on the fiddle. Go on the fiddle like that, go on the fiddle like that. I don't know if you can pick that up, Shane, go on the fiddle. And eventually came up with the mystery ball. I look forward to seeing that.
And with that as a way of setting the scene here in the Rupert Murdoch disgrace, it's time to ask the Nissan Cedrics to take a pitch length of paper and in the colours of Australian cricket, i.e. red, green, gold and brown, have a go at the Steve Waugh story!
Say
Thanks very much for coming in, Steve. Now, obviously we need to talk about the future rather than the past. We'll get to the past in a moment. In Pakistan recently, there's been a very, very interesting contest between the wristy Sri Lankans and the very, very wristy Pakistanis. Now, Sri Lanka have now put the cleaners through Pakistan in the one-day series and then the tests. Are these betting results, meaning are lots of money being still made on these results, or is this a genuine state of Pakistani cricket, i.e. hopeless?
Tough question first up.
They don't get any easier, Steve.
No, well, I hope they do actually, but Pakistan are obviously a bit up and down and you're not quite sure what they're going to do on the field and, well, Sri Lanka aren't a bad side these days. I think I'll leave it at that.
Now, Dav Watmore certainly turned the Sri Lankans around, and so when you come out, when you think about this future summer, is it merely an exhibition of a man kicking a dog that's going to tour around to the Gabba, the MCG, the SCG and so on, with Australia obviously with the boots on, and the opponents, the travelling opponents, the very, very wristy subcontinental teams being the dog?
Well, I hope so, yeah, it'd be nice, but you know, we've obviously got a good side and we're playing well, and I suppose we're the #1 side in the world, so we'll be looking to retain that crown when we play Pakistan and Sri Lanka, but they've got some good players and they'll be tough.
Steve, we should have, or just remind people of a couple of moments earlier this year. I mean, it seems forever ago, but it was only yesterday. Let's have a look, I think, when you scored your 200th run against the West Indies in this particular innings. There it was. That looks like Richie Richardson looking very, very stupid. And there's you. And out they come, the green and gold army, which included, and unfortunately we can't see him here, Fat Cat Richie came out.
Yeah.
He came out, he fell over, he was covered in mud. He looked very, 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 very stupid. How did you feel having stupid old Fat Cat?
Well, it was very unusual, I got to admit. I mean, I got the 200 and I was sort of just concentrating on the cricket and really focused, and then all those people run on the ground. I saw there was an Australian guy there playing a didgeridoo, which is a bit unusual for cricket. Yes. Another guy was bouncing an AFL football, and I thought, that's pretty strange. And then I sort of smelt bourbon and coke, and I looked up and there was Fat Cat, so that sort of capped it all off. It was one of those moments which was very unusual.
What did Fat Cat say to you, Steve? Was it, well done, mate,
Yeah, it was a bit like that, yeah, to start with, but I think he said something like, you're a legend, well done, great stuff. Then off he went.
You're a legend, that's what he said. How did that make you feel at the time? Did you feel a legend? Did you think, well, Fat Cat thinks I'm right?
Well,
It must be true.
well, yeah, sort of. No, I don't know, it was a funny moment, as you say, and to see Greg there was very unusual, and I didn't really think much of it at the time, but later on I thought, yeah, that was a bit strange.
Now, obviously the whole test series hinged on the first test and making a good start. And Roy and I believe that the masterstroke in the Australian strategy was to get that blood clot into Bobby Simpson's leg and get him into bloody hospital for the start. So you didn't have him breathing down your neck and telling you those stupid tactics, and you could go out there and play a bit of cricket. Is that how the team felt? And you don't have to answer this in words. You can tap for yes or 2 taps for no if you want to. 3.
3 taps.
Yes,
Well, you were that relieved that Simo wasn't there. Well, that
Some
showed.
might say that, but no, he's a very good coach, and we're very sad to see him in hospital.
Right.
Next question.
Yes, next
How's that
question.
sitting on the fence, all
Yeah.
right?
Steve, I've read your very attractive biography or the diary of the of your tour. It's a tremendous read.
Get it on now.
A tremendous read. But when did you find the time to write it? Because I never noticed in all the days, you go through day by day by day by day by day by day by day. Never do you say, oh, well, then I had to put the feet up and write the tour bloody diary. You never refer to the tour diary in the diary. When did you write it? Can I put it to you? You wrote it when you got home?
You may well say that, but no, I did write it every day, and once I got home from the cricket, it was sort of back to the room, write down what was going on, then out at night time to celebrate or whatever. And then the pen stopped after that time.
Now, speaking of that tour, we've got some magnificent scenes here of the final wicket that eventually gave Australia the Frank Worrell Trophy. Warnie trundles in. It's a bit of a mystery ball. There's certainly the batter didn't know much about it. And taken by Mark Taylor there at first slip. A tremendous achievement. 20 years we waited for this moment in history. How did it feel, Steve Waugh?
It was a bit of an anticlimax,
Yes, I thought
believe
you
it or not, yeah. It's been so tough to beat these guys after 15 years or whatever, and then they sort of caved in so easy on the last day. It was as if you wished it was going to be a lot tougher to beat them, but nevertheless we're happy to beat them, and we had a few drinks later on.
And here you are accepting the awards.
Yes, the man of the series.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen that car since that day. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, Simo's probably got it.
He probably has.
Steve, winning the series, I mean, it must have been a tremendous thing for you. And you were, as clearly demonstrated, you were the man of the series. You topped the averages with the bat. You topped the averages with the ball. People don't realise that, but you did. Now, how do you feel then playing under someone who's not as good as cricketer as you are? Mark Taylor, look, he's a tremendous bloke, but he's not a tactician. He's not a particular. No, Steve, no, fair dinkum. You know, I'm speaking on behalf of. You're a legend. You know, I've spoken to Fat Cat. Now, in all fairness, the people of Australia that HG and myself have been interviewing for months now. I mean, we've done a poll. We've spoken to about 16 million Australians who feel that you should have been made captain. You should be captain of Australia. You wear the baggy green more than anyone else. You wear it with dignity, you wear it with aplomb, you score a hell of a lot of runs and you get a hell of a lot of wickets. You should be What can we do about this, Steve?
Should we
I guess
march
make
and
you guys
create a
select us.
protest?
No, I'm quite happy to play, actually. I mean, Mark Taylor is a great captain. He's done a great job and it's very relaxing being a player, not having to handle the media all the time. So I'm very happy just batting number 5 and 6, bowling occasionally, taking a few catches and not worrying about those sort of things. So, but I'd love to be captain one day if it come up.
Can I just refer to an incident? We should refer to the incident, and this is the Curtly Ambrose incident. Okay. Now, I saw you interviewed, terrific interview it was too, on Andrew Denton's program, and you didn't reveal much, however, about what was said between you and Curtly to fire him up in that way. I mean, is he just mad? Is he just a stupid bloke, or with a very short wick and a very short fuse?
Actually, but,
what went wrong?
Well. Yeah, we're on TV, I can't swear, can I?
No, you can't. No, you can't.
This show has hardly any ratings, unlike the Andrew Denton show. And you can do whatever you bloody well like here, Steve.
I can tell the truth, can I?
Yes, you can. Tell the truth.
No, I'm not going to tell the truth. But I guess we were both under pressure going into the test match. Curtly, some people were saying he wasn't bowling well, wasn't giving 100%, his place in the side was in jeopardy. I went in that test match after the Brian Lara controversy. It was his hometown, so I was under a lot of pressure. We both sort of clashed at the heat of the moment. I thought he overdid his sort of Clint Eastwood stare at the end of his bowling mark, so I was eventually told him to get back and do his job, and he wasn't happy.
Did you say, get back and bowl?
Something like that. Yeah, 1 or 2 words sort of in between that, but
and then what did he say?
He basically said, no, he said, don't say that. And then I said a few more words which he liked even less, so, and then he got a bit carried away. And then I got worried.
How do you get on with him now? Have you written since and apologised?
I'll be sending him a Christmas card.
Explain the situation.
Yeah, we're good mates, yeah. Looking forward to catching up with him, actually. But no, we don't talk much.
Right, no, I understand.
But I mean, you know, he's an opposition player, so.
Yes, how do you get on with the opposition generally, say when you tour the West Indies? Are there plenty of, I noticed in the book, I think you said Jimmy Adams was the only one who showed up for a beer, even though you put the welcome mat out for everybody to come
I guess it's pretty tough after you lose a test series that you're going to have a beer with the opposition, but Jimmy's a nice guy, Brian Lara's a great fella, Richie Richardson's pretty good most of the time. Yes. Until he loses, I guess.
Well, when he lost, he said this was the worst Australian team he'd ever played. I mean, how bad does that make his team look?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's a pretty strange comment.
What a goose.
I guess he was under pressure and said the wrong thing.
Under pressure. Speaking of a bit of pressure, we've got a bit of footage of you and Mark in a terrific, well, we call it rainbow connection happening here. This is when you were 99 against England.
I'm looking forward to seeing this.
Yes, this is tremendous. Here we
the
are.
ball's bowled, you decide to go for a quick single, it's not on, Chris Lewis comes back and hurls down the stumps, and then unfortunately you're stranded 99.
I suppose you can ask me what I said there as well, eh?
What did you say to him? What did you say to Mark?
Similar to what I said to Curtly, actually. No, it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was just one of those things in the game, and I guess he was trying to get the single for me to get 100, but he got run out, so it was disappointing for me, but maybe it's traced back to a childhood incident, I'm not sure, but I'll get him back one day, don't worry.
But that wasn't the only time he's run you out, though, was it?
No, he's always running me out.
Yes,
he's a very poor runner between wickets.
But you've often said that you do have a psychic sense when Mark's going to get out. You don't have this psychic sense when you're going to get out.
No, that's right.
Nor does he have this psychic sense that you're going to get out. No. You don't have the psychic sense that he's going to get you out.
Something like, yeah.
It's a weird one, isn't it?
It is a weird one, yes. But yeah, it's funny you say that because there was a test match in Barbados where Curtly Ambrose was just about to bowl the ball. Mark was batting. I thought, oh no, he's going to be out caught behind here. Yeah. And split second later he was out. So needless to say, Mark wasn't very impressed with it. But it does happen sometimes. Yeah.
Do you ever try and warn him, like?
Might be It might be a tad off-putting, and it'll probably definitely make him get out. So no, I'll try not to do it.
Now, look, can we talk about the Shane Warne mystery ball? Now,
We've read
Okay,
about
well,
it.
it's a mystery to me. But yeah, go on.
indeed, it appears to be a mystery to everybody, including Shane. I understand he's got something that works over about 15 metres. He can't make it go the whole pitch at the moment.
Well,
and what is it exactly? Is it just something weird, or
Is it a reverse flipper?
I've got no idea, to tell you the truth. Maybe it's one that doesn't turn because every other ball turns. Maybe it's the one that looks
Well,
like
he's straight
it's gonna
ball.
turn.
He's arm
That
ball.
could be a chair, the straight ball. But if,
Gee,
it's over
that is a
15, if it's
mystery.
over 15 yards, it's a bit of a problem because, as you say, the wicket's 22 yards. So
Yeah.
he's going to have to modify it.
Well, we wish him all the best, and we certainly wish you all the best, Steve.
Thank you.
We do.
And I recommend the book for those interested in the tour of the West Indies, the recent Australian success in the West Indies. And on that cheery note, it's time to ask all Club Buggery viewers, whether here in the Rupert Murdoch disgrace or there at home, to get them together and bang them and thank Steve Waugh.
The Iceman, Steve Waugh is the Iceman. Give him the bat, give him the ball, he wins every test, 'cause he's got it all. Call the Iceman. Steve was here, Steve was here, we were saved.
Roy, you spend more time with Mark and Steve Waugh than anybody else I know. How do they get on?
They hate each other's guts.
Have they always hated each other's guts?
Well, and in hating each other's guts is an interesting psychological dilemma for them, because in hating each other's guts, ultimately they hate themselves, if you see what I mean. So they're very odd people. I mean, lovely blokes. You couldn't meet two nicer blokes, but psychologically flawed, you'd have to say. But I think the world of them. And I stand by my remarks about Steve being captain of Australia. I think he should be.
And of course, you know, obviously this summer is going to just be a farce.
It's going to sizzle, isn't it?
Oh no, indeed. They must be turning people away in droves already. Speaking of turning people away in droves, it's now time to go over and have a look at some extraordinary people doing the very ordinary, and it's the climax of the series. It's something I've been looking forward to for weeks now, and I hope that bottle of port makes another appearance. Let's go over to Ian's!
Club Buggery presents Ian. With Paul Sirenen as Ian, Lisa Forrest as Susan, Cole Joy as Ian's dad, Greg Matthews as Ian's friend Cole, Annette Shanwar as Susan's friend Deirdre, Ted Mullery as Bob the neighbour, and Warren Boland as Cole's mate Pete.
I'm scared. I don't know if we can pull this off.
We'll be all right.
Okay, we'll be right, Pete. Look, I've got a bottle of port I'm taking with us.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Come on, let's go.
Come on, Pete, we'll be right. Come on. I'll get the light. Ladies and gentlemen, now I know it's late, but we've worked real hard on this. So I'd like to present to you my son Ian, my daughter-in-law Susan, our neighbours Bob and Dee, and our mates Col and Pete. And Pete has written a special number for this occasion.
I'm fishing on the moon, just drifting, sitting, fishing on the moon, hoping that the one I love bites soon. I'm fishing on the moon,
Dreaming of a girl, just leaning, scheming, dreaming of a girl, hoping that the one I love comes soon. I'm dreaming of the moon.
fishing for a heart in one who will love me from the start, a tender catch from whom I never part. I'm fishing for
I'm hungry for romance. I'm hoping to be hooked to have a chance. I'm punting on a formal circumstance. I'm hungry for romance. Ascending down a line from above. They're counting on that thread being love. If she gently reels him in, medicine. They'll wear each other's hearts like a glove. I'm sitting on a star, no longer dreaming, alone and from afar, with strings plucked on heavenly guitars. We're serenaded by the stars, fishing on the moon, sitting, drifting, fishing on the moon, hoping that the one we love bites soon. We're drifting on, wishing on, fishing on the moon.
Standing in our club, just standing on our landing in our club. As Cedric sleeps, its soul will never die. We're sad to say goodbye.
Roy, even though it is the final show for 1995, I believe we have to maintain standards and not let enthusiasm carry us away at the moment. Last weekend we saw a very, very ordinary Australian performance in the Rugby League World Cup. I believe the preparation is the problem. I am in complete agreement with people like the Parrot, with backdoor Benny Elias, when they've come out in the press this week and said that the Australian team was underdone in the pipe opener for the World Cup. I believe preparation is 109% of the problem. I believe once you get your preparation in place, everything else follows. How did Grassy keep you at the peak of your preparedness to be able to play football any time of the year, any time of the day?
Yes, a very good point, actually. Look, I do recall when we'd won the grand final, the Shamrocks had won the grand final, and we're down at the Bloodhouse having a few beers, so to speak, celebrating. And the word came through that I'd been given admission to the Kangaroos. The word came through the bar, you know, Roy, phone for you. Oh, yes, Phillip Street. Roy, you pack your bags, you've got to go with the Kangaroos. I didn't touch my beer after that. I didn't look at it. And no one would let me look at it. So it was, Roy, off you shoot. And I went home, I polished my boots, I checked the studs, I got my special underpants ready. I was absolutely prepared. And Grass, it's like being in the Army Reserves, Roy. You've got to be ready for call-up at any time of the year. Army Reserve. Football reserves, because you never know when your nation is going to need you to represent it playing football, be it rugby league or be it anything. I think all kiddies should be ready to go. Drop of a bloody hat. Battle readiness. I'm ready to go now.
You bought the kit, did you, Roy?
I brought the kit.
It's out in the car? Out in the back of you?
If you have that frame of mind, if the heart's ready, actually, it always begins with the heart.
Yes.
If the heart's ready, if the heart's willing, the brain and the body will follow. It's as simple as that.
Roy, obviously, turning to another sport now, and horse racing comes to mind with the Spring Cups just round the corner.
Yes.
Now, you've trained, obviously, Rooting King to many, many cup successes over the years. You took him through many, many preparations. On October the 13th, every year, where did you like to have the King, vis-a-vis preparation?
Yes.
How did you cope with it when you realised you'd gone in a bit early and had him a bit overcooked? How did you chill him out, man? The next other problem was often you could be behind, you know, weather, other problems, training tracks not available. With the King's preparation, how did you get Rooting King up to speed? How did you handle that beast? Because he wasn't easy to handle, was he?
No.
Even though you had a lot of success with him.
Yes, no, he was a bugger of a horse, the King. Yes. I had 3 hats that I'd wear, HG. If I went into the stable where the King was, I'd sometimes go in with the green hat on. And if I wore the green hat, I'd go in with some hay and barley and a bit of a salt lick, and maybe I'd take a harp in and sing little ditties for the King. You know, oh, the King's a bloody good bloke, that sort of stuff. And we'd then go out and gambol about, as it were, you know, just rolling about, lolling about in the fields. The following day I might come in wearing the red hat.
Oh, yeah.
And if I go in with a red hat and a couple of threepenny bungers and a couple of cricket stumps, and I'd sort the bloody King out. I would. I'd put the bungers up the night, boom, bang, bash around the ears with it, and then I'd tie a bit of a rope around the King's head, tie him to the back of a V8, and V8 custom line, we do 30 or 50 bloody laps. And then I'd put the King back here and say, here, you bloody, just take you, I'll be back tomorrow. Another day I might wear the black hat. I wore the black hat. I'd go in with a shoddy. A shoddy and, say, a Rhode Island red pullet in a cage. Boom! In front of the King. And then I just pointed the bits of feathers and stuff everywhere and pointed at the King. He understood. He understood. Then on the day of the race, say it was the Melbourne Cup, I'd go in, and the King thought I was 3 different people, you see. Because horses are stupid. I'd have the green one under the black one under the red one. Boom. You go in with the green out, and the King would be all whoop, whoop, gamble, ding, ding, ding. Then the red, then the bloody black. Then I'd put them all back on again. You could see the King getting confused. Which is he? Which is he?
Yeah.
And we go out and ride.
And win.
And win. So, you know, if he was overcooked, I'd wear the green. If he was underdone, I'd wear the black.
Right. Roy, could the King actually let you know where he was on that training curve? You know, would he sometimes, you know, win the black hat? Would he sometimes let you know that he wanted to see the green? Sometimes let you know that he wanted to see the red? Was he that sort of horse? And, you know, morphic resonance across species, how does it work, Roy?
With horses, you mean?
You know, shooting a chook.
Well, if you shoot enough of them, the bloody message gets through. I've said many times. But what worried me about the King in the end was that secretly, I think he wanted to be in the cage with me wearing the black hat.
He would. He would. He would.
I think I've exhausted that.
That's all right, Roy, because it's time to move on. And now it's time to introduce a woman who's always prepared to put in a big one, no matter what time of the season, day or night, year in, year out. Incidentally, in my many travels across this vast nation of ours, many people ask where they can see more of a handiwork. Well, it's an enormous pleasure tonight in the Bug House, here in the Rupert Murdoch disgrace, that I announce that Jane will be packing down in a new musical comedy called Fractured Fairy Tales at the Bankstown Dinner Theatre from November the 4th, where she'll be joined on stage by the V8s. Incidentally, this show, after it's had its run in the Bankstown area, will be travelling to every city in Australia, so you will get a chance to see